I asked ChatGPT and Claude for relationship advice, and their responses will shock you. Walk with me as we hit them with one popular relationship question. Then you decide who's better. So, ChatGPT, I have a relationship question to ask. Me and a lady have been talking for 4 months. She still won't commit, but gets jealous when I date others. Is this manipulation or confusion?
All right, let's just talk this through normally. You've been talking for 4 months. That's not a short time. By that point, most people know whether they at least want to try being exclusive. So the fact that she won't commit but reacts when you date other people creates a mismatch. Now, jealousy by itself doesn't automatically mean manipulation. Jealousy is human. If she likes you, it makes sense that she'd feel something when you see other people. The real issue is what she does with that jealousy. If she says she's not ready but still expects you to act like you're taken, that's unfair. She can't keep her options open while emotionally pressuring you to close yours. That's where it starts to feel manipulative, even if she doesn't consciously mean to manipulate you. On the other hand, she might genuinely be confused. Some people want the emotional security of exclusivity but are afraid of labels, responsibility, or getting hurt. That's immaturity or fear, not necessarily bad intentions, but it still affects you the same way. The bigger question isn't what to call her behavior, it's what you're willing to accept. Are you okay being in a gray area indefinitely? Are you starting to feel like you're waiting for her to decide? A healthy dynamic would sound like this. I like you, but I'm not going to act committed if we're not committed. If you're unsure, that's fine. I'll continue dating. No anger, no pressure, just clarity. Her reaction to that boundary will tell you more than her jealousy ever could.
I have had the same conversation with her, but she got angry, telling me I don't like her enough because if I did, I would wait for her and not try to date others. I am confused right now, and I don't know what to do. Any advice?
Okay, pause for a second. What she said, if you liked me enough, you would wait, sounds romantic on the surface, but if you really sit with it, it's emotional pressure. She's basically saying, I'm not ready to commit, but you should act committed anyway to prove your feelings. That's not a fair standard. Liking someone does not require you to put your life on hold indefinitely while they figure themselves out. Waiting is a choice you make freely, not something you're guilted into. Ask yourself this calmly. Did you pressure her to commit? Or did you just say you won't act exclusive without exclusivity? Are you asking for clarity or are you demanding control? From what you described, you set a boundary. She responded with anger and guilt. That's the part that matters. If she were simply confused but emotionally mature, the conversation would sound more like, I get that, I'm just scared, can we talk about it? Instead, she framed it as you not liking her enough. That shifts the responsibility onto you. That's not confusion, that's deflection. Here's the deeper truth. She wants reassurance without risk. She wants security without committing. And she wants you to prove yourself while she stays undecided. That dynamic will slowly drain you. You have 3 realistic options. 1, wait and stop dating others, knowing there's no guarantee. 2, continue dating and accept she may pull away. 3, step back entirely and remove yourself from the gray zone. The healthiest option is usually the one that protects your self-respect. You don't prove love by abandoning your boundaries. You prove maturity by keeping them calmly. Let me ask you something important. If she never commits but keeps you emotionally attached like this for another 6 months, would you still feel okay about it?
No, I wouldn't. Even currently, I am not okay.
That right there is your answer. You're already not okay, and it's only been 4 months. Forget whether she's confused or manipulative for a second. The more important truth is this: the situation is hurting you. When someone says, if you liked me enough, you'd wait, What they're really saying is, your needs come second to mine. That's not how healthy relationships start. A relationship should feel mutual, not like you're auditioning for it. You gave her clarity. You said you won't act committed without commitment. That's reasonable. Instead of meeting you halfway, she turned it into a test of your feelings. That creates a power imbalance where you're the one trying to prove yourself. And here's something important. When you're genuinely valued, you don't feel confused this often. You don't feel like you're walking on emotional eggshells. You don't feel guilty for wanting clarity. Right now, you're in a dynamic where she keeps control of the pace, you carry the emotional uncertainty, you feel bad for wanting something defined. That's not sustainable. If you already know you wouldn't be okay with this continuing, then staying in it hoping she changes is just extending your discomfort. You don't need to fight her. You don't need to convince her. You don't need to win the argument. You can simply say something like, I care about you, but this dynamic isn't working for me. I need something clearer than this. And then mean it. If she wants you, she'll step up. If she doesn't, you just saved yourself months of anxiety. Let me ask you something gently. Are you afraid of losing her, or are you afraid of starting over?
That is the problem. I think I like her a lot, so losing her would hurt me badly.
That makes sense. Of course it would hurt. You've invested 4 months of emotion, attention, hope, and possibility. Losing that isn't small. It's not weak to admit that. But here's something important to separate. You're not just afraid of losing her. You're also afraid of losing what you hoped this could become. Right now, you're attached to the connection, the potential, the idea of it finally becoming official, the what if she chooses me? That's powerful. But here's the hard part. You're already hurting. You said you're not okay even now. So the question isn't, will losing her hurt? It's, does staying like this hurt more slowly? There are 2 kinds of pain here. Sharp pain, you walk away, it hurts deeply, but you heal. Slow pain, you stay, feel anxious, uncertain, not chosen, and it drags. Most people choose the slow pain because it feels safer in the moment, but long term, it chips at your confidence. And I want you to notice something. She's asking you to risk losing other options to prove you care, while she risks nothing. That imbalance is why you feel unsettled. If she truly feared losing you, she would move toward you, not test you. You liking her a lot isn't the problem. The problem is liking someone who isn't meeting you at the same level. Let me ask you something honestly. If she called tomorrow and said, okay, I want to be exclusive, would you feel secure? Or would part of you always remember that she only stepped up when she felt you might leave? Take your time with that one.
Well, I can't say. I don't really know. But yes, I think I wouldn't feel totally secure. It would feel like I forced it.
That answer is very important. If she agreed after pressure and you'd feel like you forced it, that means deep down you don't want reluctant commitment. You want to be chosen freely. And that's healthy. The reason you'd feel insecure isn't because you're overthinking. It's because your nervous system already senses the imbalance. When someone commits because they fear losing you, not because they're ready, you end up constantly wondering, are they here because they want me or because I pushed? That doubt doesn't go away easily. Right now, the real conflict isn't, do I like her? You clearly do. The conflict is, I like her, but I don't feel secure with her. And security matters more than intensity. You're in a position where, if you stay and keep accepting this gray zone, you feel anxious. If you push for clarity, she gets angry. If she finally commits under pressure, you won't feel fully safe anyway. That's why you feel stuck. There's no option that feels clean. Here's something difficult but grounding. You cannot build security with someone who resists clarity. And the fact that you're worried about forcing it tells me you don't want control. You want mutual desire. That's a good sign about you. The deeper question now is this. If you step back and she doesn't come towards you on her own, would that tell you something you already suspect? You don't have to answer me immediately. Just sit with it. Sometimes the fear of losing someone is stronger than the evidence that they're not fully choosing us.
Of course. That would be a very obvious sign that she does not want me enough to fight for me.
I'm going to say this gently but clearly. If you step back and she doesn't come toward you, it wouldn't mean you weren't worth fighting for. It would mean she wasn't willing or ready to give what you need. Those are very different things. Right now, your mind is framing it as, if she doesn't fight for me, I must not matter enough. But relationships aren't competitions where the winner proves value. They're alignment. Two people either move toward each other at the same pace or they don't. You've already been fighting, in a way. You've been trying to understand her hesitation, explaining your boundaries, managing your own feelings, and staying despite discomfort. That is effort. The real imbalance here is that she's asking you to prove your feelings by sacrificing your options while she proves hers by staying undecided. That's not mutual risk. And here's something important. Someone who truly wants you doesn't need the threat of losing you to realize it. They feel it and act on it. You're afraid of losing her because you care. That's human. But ask yourself something very honest. Right now, do you feel chosen or do you feel tolerated until she decides? There's a big emotional difference between those two states. And the longer you stay in a place where you don't feel chosen, the more it slowly chips at your confidence, even if she never explicitly rejects you. You don't need someone to fight for you. You need someone who doesn't hesitate to step toward you. If I asked you to imagine a relationship where the other person is clear, enthusiastic, and secure about you, how different would your body feel compared to right now?
I would feel happy and at peace knowing someone genuinely wants me. So let's round this up. What do you suggest? Should I stay or should I keep trying to see if she comes to me?
I'm going to give you a clear answer, not a vague one. Don't stay in this dynamic as it is. Not because she's evil, not because you don't like her enough, but because you already said you're not okay. And you admitted that even if she committed under pressure, you wouldn't feel secure. That tells me this isn't about trying harder. It's about alignment. Here's what I suggest, and this is different from chasing or testing her. Step back calmly. Not dramatically, not to punish her, not to make her jealous. Just step back from the gray zone. Stop over-investing. Stop acting like you're half-committed. Stop having relationship-level emotional availability without relationship-level clarity. You can say something simple and grounded. I care about you, but this in-between space isn't working for me. If you decide you're ready for something clear, I'm open to that, but I'm not going to stay in uncertainty. And then actually mean it. After that, you don't wait to see if she comes. You continue your life. You date if you want to. You focus on yourself. You remove the emotional audition. If she steps up freely, great. If she doesn't, you have your answer. The key difference here is energy. You're not staying and hoping. You're not leaving angrily. You're choosing self-respect and letting reality reveal itself. Because right now you want peace, and you already told me what peace feels like, feeling genuinely wanted. You can't negotiate someone into genuinely wanting you.
Wow! Thank you, ChatGPT, for the conversation. I will think about the advice. Over to you, Claude. Me and this lady have been talking for 4 months. She still won't commit, but gets jealous when I date others. Is this manipulation or confusion?
This could be either, or something in between. 4 months is long enough that her hesitation deserves a direct conversation. Some possibilities. Confusion or ambivalence. She might genuinely not know what she wants, feeling drawn to you but scared of commitment for reasons that have nothing to do with manipulation, past hurt, timing, life circumstances, or fear of vulnerability. Wanting it both ways. She might like the security of your attention without the burden of commitment. This isn't necessarily malicious manipulation, but it is unfair to you, whether she realizes it or not. Actual manipulation. If she's aware this keeps you in limbo and uses jealousy strategically to maintain control, that's manipulative. But most people doing this aren't trolling mustaches. They're just being selfish or emotionally immature. What matters more than her motives is how this affects you. You're in a position with no security but expected loyalty. That's inherently unstable and probably painful. A possible approach. I care about you, but I need clarity. I'm not going to stop seeing other people unless we're actually together. If you're not ready to commit, I respect that, but I can't stay in this gray area indefinitely. What do you actually want here? Her response, and whether she follows through, will tell you what you need to know. If she can't or won't give you a real answer after 4 months and a direct question, that is your answer. You deserve someone who's excited to be with you, not someone who wants you on standby.
So now, what do you suggest? Do you suggest I leave or keep trying with her?
I can't make that decision for you, but I can help you think it through. Questions to ask yourself. How does this situation make you feel day to day? If you're constantly anxious, confused, or feeling less than, that's a cost you're paying right now, regardless of what might happen later. Has anything actually changed in 4 months? Or are you having the same circular conversations? If there's been no movement toward clarity, more time probably won't fix it. What are you hoping for? Are you waiting for her to suddenly become ready? That might happen, but it also might not, or might take so long that you've sacrificed months or years in limbo. Is she taking any responsibility? When you've brought this up before, does she acknowledge the unfairness of the situation? Does she show self-awareness? Or does she deflect, make you feel guilty, or just keep things vague? My honest take, if you haven't already had the direct conversation I suggested, have it once, clearly and kindly. See how she responds. If she commits, great, see if actions match words. Says she needs specific, reasonable time, like, I need another month to figure out X. You decide if you can wait. Gets defensive, vague, or turns it back on you, that's probably your answer. Still can't decide after a clear ultimatum, she's choosing not to choose, which is choosing not to be with you. You're not giving up too soon by leaving after 4 months of ambiguity. You're recognizing that someone who wants to be with you wouldn't keep you guessing this long. What does your gut tell you when you imagine walking away?
I have had the same conversation with her, but she got angry, telling me I don't like her enough because if I did, I would wait for her and not try to date others. I am confused right now, and I don't know what to do. Any advice?
That response from her is a major red flag. Let me be direct with you. She's turning this around on you to avoid accountability. You've been patient for 4 months. You're asking for reasonable clarity, and instead of addressing your needs, she's making you the problem, demanding exclusive commitment while offering none herself, using guilt to control your behavior, and getting angry when you set a boundary. This is manipulative, whether she's doing it consciously or not. The double standard is glaring. You're supposed to prove you like her enough by waiting indefinitely and staying exclusive. Meanwhile, she proves nothing. No commitment, no timeline, no consideration for what you need. If she truly cared about you, she'd either commit or release you, not keep you trapped while making you feel guilty for wanting clarity. My advice? Leave. Not because you didn't try hard enough. You did. Not because she's a terrible person, she might just be immature or hurting, but because this dynamic is unhealthy and won't improve. She's shown you how she handles conflict, blame, and anger, not honesty. You deserve someone who doesn't weaponize your feelings against you. 4 months of wait for me and anger when you ask questions means this is who she is right now. When you walk away, she'll likely try to pull you back, suddenly ready to commit or making you feel guilty. Don't fall for it. Real change takes time and self-reflection, not panic when someone finally sets a boundary. You're not confused. You know this feels wrong. Trust that feeling.
Thank you, Claude. I'll weigh your advice and make a smart decision. Guys, which AI crushed it better? ChatGPT or Claude? Drop your pick in the comments below. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. Like this video, share with a friend, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.